Fit to Love, episode 98, How to Use Tarot Cards.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Hello and welcome to Fit to Love Freedom Fridays. Today's show, How to Use Tarot Cards. I could also title the show How JJ Uses Tarot Cards because just like the astrology conversation, I do not claim to be an expert in tarot card reading. What I do claim to know is what I do with them and why, and my experience with them, and then what I've learned from others. So first, let's talk about the idea of tarot cards and what they're for and why you'd want to use them or why you might decide to use them. When I was younger and starting to learn about astrology, I often thought that people who did astrology and tarot cards were like fortune tellers, and they wanted to tell you what was going to happen to you. And while that can be exciting and fun and to go down that journey and wonder if these things are going to happen to you, I honestly don't prefer to use both astrology and tarot cards to predict anything. I like to use things like astrology and tarot cards to show me energies I might not be picking up on right now that are coming from me. So while I have had my cards read by several people, and it's fun and interesting, especially when you get someone who is more intuitive than another, and they may see things that they bring up that you haven't shared with anybody, and that's always really fun to have. I don't put too much stock in someone else's reading, not because I don't trust their ability to see things, but because I don't want to get caught up in that predicting the future kind of energy. And here's why. Because I believe that while maybe our paths have been designed and we've designed them and they're kind of set in place, that every choice that we get, that we make along the way can alter that. So unless it's the immediate next 24 hours or the next week, I want to feel empowered to make different choices. I want to know that at any given time, I get to decide how to change my energy and my focus and my environment and therefore my future and my destiny. So with that said, I just wanted to put it out there that A, I am not claiming to be the expert in tarot cards. I am sure I will have one on the show in the future. And then B or two, I am recommending or wanting you to explore why you might use cards and different card decks to help make sense of what's going on for you right now. That they could be fun. I am in no way promoting that we want to tell the future and ask about what's going to happen in our future, because I believe we create our future. Even if it's set, we still get to create moment to moment how we experience that. So with that said, I first want to say that under the umbrella of tarot cards also falls many different kinds of card decks. I started out actually using something called Healing with the Angels card deck from Doreen Virtue. She's got a bunch of different card decks, and the Healing with the Angels, there are 44 cards in this deck, and I'll just read to you what's on the back of this. Your guardian angels have messages that can help heal every area of your life. This set of 44 oracle cards will help you communicate with your angels and receive angelic answers and guidance about your love life, career, health, family, and more. With the help of the enclosed guidebook, you'll learn how to give angel ratings for yourself and for loved ones. Each card features a beautiful angel image and message. There are no negative cards in this deck since the angels always counsel us from a place of love. And that's where I started with this angel card deck because it was fun, and I believe that non-physical energy is always around us. So whether you call it energy, whether you call it angels or God or your past loved ones who energetically are still around you and give you messages, that we do have the ability to communicate with non-physical and to pick up our own energy that maybe we're not understanding how it's affecting our lives. So something like a card deck could show you what you're thinking subconsciously and what you're putting out there, but you're not aware of it. So when it comes to doing one of these card decks, they may instruct you on how to shuffle them and lay them out and how to pick. And there's different kinds of card pulls. There's a single card pull and a telling the future kind of a 3-card pull. I do follow some of those sometimes, but I just kind of go with it. And sometimes I'll just pull one every day just to see what's up. I might say, what do I need to learn today? What do I need to be open to today? Or if I'm having a problem or question I need to have answered, I might go to the cards and see if it can give me any clues. In fact, years ago, I was a part of a group. I was feeling like it was time for me to move on. I was needing advice and communication in a more spiritual way, and I was the only one who was really doing that. And so while I was happy to give and be helpful to others as much as I could be, the kind of language that I was speaking in wasn't the language that they were probably motivated by, and it wasn't language I was going to get back. So I was really struggling with whether or not to stay. And I used my card deck to uncover. I did a 3-card pull, and it was very, very clear. And it talked about basically resentment in the future and things like that. And it really spoke to, I think, what my true desire was, that I wasn't allowing myself to have permission about. And also what I was probably guilting myself or shaming myself into. I was feeling maybe I had an obligation to this group to stick around a little bit longer, or was it selfish of me to leave? And pulling those 3 cards really uncovered either the energy that I had going on that I wasn't willing to acknowledge, or just a higher truth that I wasn't considering. So it did help me make a decision. So I'm not recommending that you make a decision, a life-changing decision, by just referring to tarot cards or goddess cards or angel cards, but I'm going to suggest that they're helpful. Why not? Why not pull some cards and see what it has to say? It might give you a different perspective about your life or about your situation. And I will say that every time we do card readings for friends, or I've got a gathering, I've had a couple girl parties, and every time we pull cards, every single time, it is so accurate. I have never had anyone pull from this deck and say, I don't know what they're talking about. So I just want to put that out there, that the cards pick up your energy. So I'm recommending that if you're interested, pick up a deck of cards, whether it be Healing from the Angels, or I also have the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards from Doreen Virtue. I think she's got several of them, but it's a really beautiful deck as well. And I'll just read that quickly to you. The goddesses are angelic, powerful, loving beings who want to help you with every part of your life. In this set of 44 Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue, you'll learn who the different cross-cultural goddesses are and how they can help you. Each card gives you a specific message about how you can improve your life, health, relationships, finances, career, and spiritual path. The gorgeous artwork on each card depicts Kuan Yin, Lakshmi, Brigitte, Isis, and Athena, as well as goddesses from Celtic, Mayan, Egyptian, Greek, Tibetan, Buddhist, and other traditions. So I was very drawn to this deck because it's beautiful and it's very feminine, and I wanted to bring more of that into my life, and I wanted to connect with strong, powerful goddess energy at many times in my life in order to help me connect to my own strong goddess, powerful energy. So there are a ton of card decks out there. See if something calls to you if you don't have any, and if you do have them, then you obviously know what I'm talking about. Now, when it comes to the tarot deck, I use the Aleister Crowley Thoth tarot deck. Now, there are many different tarot decks. The reason why I chose this is because our favorite nutritionist for the Fit to Love podcast show, Jeannie Peters, introduced me to this deck because for years she did tarot card readings for me. And again, always very accurate, always really profound. After years of having her read for me, I thought, I want to read for me. I want to be able to pull cards whenever I want to. I don't want to have to rely on her schedule. And I feel bad taking up so much time all the time because we'll spend hours going over a 7-card spread. So for my birthday a few years ago, my husband bought me the card deck plus the book that goes along with it, which is the Tarot Mirror of the Soul handbook for the Aleister Crowley tarot cards. In the tarot deck, I'm just going to go over some basic things about the tarot deck. And again, I want to emphasize that how I use this is just to tap into what I might not be clear about within myself. I'm not trying to predict the future, not trying to predict anyone else's future, but wanting a different perspective to help me deal with whatever's at hand in a little better way or in a more specific way. In fact, I'll give you one more story. My mom was going through something, and I was really nervous for her because I was very fearful of how she was going to feel in a certain situation. So I pulled some cards based on what she was about to do. And what the cards showed me was her needing to walk through the fire, so to speak, in order for her to come out the other side. And I recognized that my energy up until that point was very protective, and I wasn't allowing her to walk herself through the fire. I was protecting her from the fire. So that card gave me the permission to recognize that my behavior was enabling and wasn't helping her stand up on her own 2 feet. So I really just think they're really powerful and they're really fun. In fact, today I was thinking, what show am I going to do for Freedom Friday today? Let me go pull some cards. And as I pulled them out, I thought, let me do a show about tarot cards. So I didn't even need to pull any cards to get the idea of the show today. There are 7 different types of tarot cards. There's the major arcana, the court cards, the minor arcana, the wands, the cups, the swords, and the discs. And I'm going to go over each one of them, what they mean, how they can help your life, and then give you a few different kinds of card pulls that you can do to answer a question and why you'd want to choose a 1 card versus a 3 card versus a 7 card. But before that, we do need to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Get the hottest tips and latest trends for your business success with today's Innovative Woman magazine, a free print and online digital magazine. Plus, receive the special bonus video series, Platforms for Profit, the must-have marketing essentials for outrageous success, taught by media and marketing strategist Kathy Alessandra. Who is today's innovative woman? She's a smart and savvy business owner. She is driven and committed to success. She invests in herself and her business on everything from products to grow her knowledge, services to grow her business, and events to learn and connect with potential clients and customers. You can claim your free subscription today and get it mailed to your home or office at today'sinnovativewoman.com. Do you commit to an exercise program every year and then give up within the first 60 days? Are you ready to be accountable to yourself and uncover the personalized changes that will work for you long term? Consider the 30-day Jumpstart program. The biggest factor for success with weight loss and lifestyle change is accountability. Studies show that people who are accountable to a coach or trainer not only see results within the first 30 to 60 days, but are more successful with long-term weight loss. Visit the products page on fittolove.tv to learn more about the 30-day Jumpstart program and to get started today. Okay, I'm just going to read to you quickly from my book, just so that I make sure I do justice for the tarot card system. The tarot is an ancient system of knowledge which has been taught over the centuries in secret mystery schools. This wisdom is presented through paintings, the symbols often hidden in esoteric images. Each card embodies the energy of the symbols on it, reflecting and imparting the energy of the user of the deck. The tarot was originally a book of wisdom, similar to the Chinese I Ching, and was looked to for advice in many different matters. The tarot is a tool that can be used for orienting oneself on a path toward greater awareness, a vast path with many turnings. It is a guide to the realm of inner transformation, revealing hidden messages and enlarging one's vision of the self and the cosmos. We can use tarot as a map, drawn in symbols indicating the road signs on the inner path. Correctly used, it gives insight and new perspectives about any unclear situations. It possesses intense, transformatory power which can lead to valuable breakthroughs, increased clarity, and deeper perceptions regarding areas of life which are most meaningful to us. If we are ready to see and accept, the tarot will give us information that points to special strengths as well as uncovering blind spots. So in my deck, there are 78 cards divided into 22 major arcana, 16 court cards, and 40 minor arcana. The major arcana, they're Roman numerals. Major arcana cards give us answers or messages regarding the question or situation at hand. At the same time, they offer higher universal teachings based in cosmic law. These teachings provide an answer to the immediate question while also providing a lesson which can be generally applied in everyday life. There's also a system of tarot like numerology where every year on your birthday, you have a lifetime symbol and you have a growth card. So you can find based on your birthday what your lifetime symbol is, which will be one of these major arcana cards. And then every year you add up your current birthday to be and find out what your growth symbol is. And I find it really interesting to look at that too, because it kind of gives your year a theme. Like, what's the theme of lessons for this year? So some of the major arcana cards are the Priestess, the Magus, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Emperor, Adjustment, Lust, Fortune, Death. I love the Death card. The Death card is not about death. I love when I get the Death card. In fact, another friend came over recently and she pulled the Death card again. Every time she pulls a card with me, every year she pulls the Death card. Death is like transformation. Death, I look forward to getting the Death card because it means all of the unnecessary things about what I'm doing is going to burn away like the phoenix rising from the ashes, and I'm going to be transforming into the new, like a butterfly, like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. So the Death card is not about death. Art, the devil, the star, the moon, the universe, the sun. So those are the major arcana cards. Next, we move to the court cards. Court cards generally are related in some way to people who are important in our lives. They show us also what we have to learn and what we wish to master, as well as any special talents that we may have. And the court cards are just like they sound. They're queen, king, knight, princess, prince, and they're the royal cards of each one of the aspects of tarot, which would be wands, cups, swords, and discs. And tarot also correlates with astrology. So in astrology, there are 4 major elements: fire, earth, air, and water. And wands, cups, swords, and discs also reflect that 4-point system. Wands are fire, cups are emotion, swords are air, and discs are earth. So going back to wands, and wands again in astrology would correlate with fire signs, which would be Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Wands ruled by the element fire. These cards stand for energy in general, especially sexual energy, the yang or male aspect, perception, intuition, insight, and activity. Then we have the cups, which is ruled by the element of water. These reflect our inner emotional reality. Their realm includes love, feelings, interaction in relationships, and sexual energy, the yin or feminine aspect. Swords, ruled by the element of air. Cards of the sword suit generally reflect our spiritual or mental condition, processes or attitudes, including possibility and meditation processes. This level of our being is most susceptible to disturbance. We are repeatedly challenged to prove that what we have achieved on this plane is real. The sword card also shows us what energies we are using, which are usually subconscious, to shape our lives. And lastly, we have discs. Discs are ruled by the element of earth. These indicate our external material physical reality. The external mirrors the internal. Dealings with the earth realm include health, the body, nutrition, clothing, possessions, finances, poverty, and wealth. So now that you have a better understanding of what the different elements are within the tarot and the energies that they also reflect in astrology and energetically that you in your body, let's talk about how to use it. I've already given you why I do it and different situations where I go to pull the tarot deck, just like today. What show am I going to do? Well, let's talk about tarot cards. And sometimes it's just if you believe in angels or if you have people that have transitioned or crossed over who you know their energy is still around you, the tarot could also be a way for them to communicate with you. You can use any one of these decks to ask a question of that person who's no longer physically in our reality, but their non-physical energy is still present. And it's through the cards that you can gain messages and ideas, and again, a different perspective or point of view. So in the back of my book, there are several different spreads. I don't want to get too caught up in a correct way or an incorrect way to handle the cards. The first most important part about a tarot deck, if it's not yours, is to hold the deck in your hands, both hands, one on top, one on the bottom. And the point of that is to give the deck your energy, to infuse it with you, and to be with it for a few minutes before you start shuffling. And I always recommend that people shuffle the deck for a little while, just so that you can, again, get your energy into the cards and have the cards pick up on your energy. You don't want to have someone else's personalized deck that you then turn around and you might have crossed energies. So just to make sure, hold it between your hands for a few minutes, maybe close your eyes, maybe take a few deep breaths, and then make sure to shuffle it well. And then from there, you can be as simple as pulling one card. And even if you don't have a specific question, you might just say, what do I need to know today? Or I'm feeling kind of funny, what's going on? Or what's the message that I most need to hear today? And you can pull one card. When it comes to a situation that needs an answer, there are two ways that I do it. The first one is to pull a 3-card spread. And most 3-card spreads indicate past, present, and future. So no matter what deck you're using, whether it be the goddess cards, the angel cards, or the tarot cards, you can pull a past, present, future reading. But the past, present, future doesn't mean years ago, today, and years from now. It literally could mean an hour ago, right now, and 2 minutes from now. So don't get too caught up in the past, present, future timeline. Just know that there's a little bit of a story that you can create from a 3-card draw. So in my book, we've got system number 1, clarification of a question or emotional condition. It is a 4-card draw, and it is in the shape of a diamond. And when you get into reading this, it's a little bit more specific about how to use the deck. You're supposed to divide the deck in half, and then from one pile, shuffle it and pull the first card and the bottom card and put them in 2 different positions. So that's just an option. And again, there's some other really fun card pulls that are in here. There's a 7-card eclipse. And actually, up until this year, for the last 5-6 years, I've been doing a 7-card eclipse every January, and I still have time for the year. The 7-card eclipse is a good system for asking about any type of undertaking. The basic question is, what is to be done? And it covers, here are the 7 points a 7-card eclipse covers: the past, the present, the future, what to do, helpful or disturbing energies from outside, greatest hopes or fears, results, or outcome. And I just find it really fun to do at the beginning of the year. It's kind of a theme. And after I pull the cards, I write them down and I reflect on that. And then in each description of each card, there's always an indication and an affirmation. So I'll just give you an example. I'll randomly pick a card. So we're going to do Ace of Wands. So the different sections are keywords, indications, questions, suggestions, and affirmations. So under Ace of Wands, it says keywords: fire, high or strong energy, transformation. And then there's a description underneath the card. And I would recommend, obviously, if you're going to invest in a card deck, that you have to get the book to go with the card deck, because a lot of the tarot cards don't have the book that comes with it. The little goddess cards and angel cards have a little booklet on the inside that tell you about the card, but I had to buy a separate book for my tarot deck. So the Ace of Wands, at the end, the affirmation is, I express my energy and power openly. So for me, I'm a big fan of doing affirmations, and every year I wanted to change up the affirmations. And so doing this 7-card spread gave me 7 new affirmations to do for the year or for the month or however long I wanted to do it. So that's another reason I did the spread, was it gave me a lot more information about things I could work on for the year and ways that I could transform whatever it was showing me. And the affirmations are really fun. So I do a color photocopy of each one of the cards, cut it out, type up the affirmation, and then put it on a vision board. And that vision board would sit at the top of my bedroom on a shelf for the year. So I could reflect back at it, see all the affirmations. I would type up the affirmations and put them in the list of affirmations to do and print it out and take it with me and do them. And that's always really fun. So there's several ways you can utilize the tarot deck and any one of these pulls. Also, I just want to mention that in case you're new to all of this or you have your own deck, how you pull your cards is also going to be very personal. I had several women over. We were doing like a ladies' night. And as I handed the deck to each person, it's like your signature. Everyone's signature is different. Some people are very precise about their signature, very like left brain perfect. And there's others who are really right brain. That would be me. If you ever see my signature, I make like big swooping J's and a big swooping F. And then I kind of teeter off and you can't make sense of the rest of it. So I pull like that. I take my cards, I shuffle them a few times, and then I just spread them out. And with momentum, I quickly pick a card or 3. But then I've seen other people who are a little bit more left brained shuffle them very precisely, lay them out very perfectly, run their hands over the deck, above the deck, and then really kind of meditate upon which card they're going to choose. So to me, there's really no right or wrong way to choose a card. You just go with it, and whatever your personality is how you do it, and you feel into that. So I hope that if I haven't inspired you to use a card deck, I have maybe educated you on why not to be afraid of it, and that it's really not a tool that has to be done in predicting. I know that some people in the past who have been around us pulling cards have been very afraid of what it might tell them, but it can't tell you anything that you're not already energetically vibrating. So if you've loved today's show, or you have a story for me, or a card deck you really like, or something else you want to add to this conversation, I'd love to hear from you. Please come to fit2love.tv and let me know. Have a fit and fabulous day.
Looking for an engaging and inspiring speaker? Does your group need a good jolt of positive thinking? Look no further than JJ Flizanes. Visit her site to check out her most requested topics and video examples. jjflizanes.com. That's jjflizanes.com.
The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly video casts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fit2love.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT2LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.